Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about my pool plans for the upcoming banners that was announced during the community live stream. Now, one thing that I do want to state is that the last two events, they were not specifically mentioned, but I am going to go ahead and talk about the characters that I feel like are going to be for those two mysterious events that was mentioned during the community live stream, just because I feel pretty confident that it is going to be those specific characters. Now, one thing that I am going to be doing a little bit different from my usual pool planning videos, which normally I talk about their reworks, I talk about like what they're going to be getting with like their FRs and BTs. I'm actually going to be shortening that a little bit by not talking about the amount of HP attacks that they're going to be gaining, but mostly just talking about what you guys need to know when it comes to these characters, like what makes them great about whatever changes they are going to be getting. So for example, for Queen, I'm going to be going over her FR and BT. I'm going to let you guys know how I feel about her, and I'll let you guys know if I'm going to be pulling or skipping her, something like that. So I'm trying to basically shorten the length of these videos. Instead of it being like 30 plus minutes, I'm going to try to be under that, or if not under, maybe 20 minutes at most. If you like this new format, let me know down in the comments below. If you want me to continue doing the usual format, which is really just going over every single thing, then let me know down in the comment section as well. And of course, if you guys do enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for future content, and of course, do let me know what your pool plans are going to be down in the comment section below. So we're going to start off with Queen, who is going to be getting her FR and BT. Now, Queen is a character that basically, and this is something that I talked about during the community live stream watch that we had earlier today, but Queen is basically a character that you are pretty much going to be building around her because of the fact that her FR and BT are a bit picky, but they mostly play around her. So if we take a look at her FR, you're going to notice that the conditions for her FR is to use a melee ability. You gain a 40% increase. And then the other one is a 60% increase whenever a teammate uses an ability changed from a Brave / HP attack. So with that being said, that means that if you are going to be using any changed Brave or HP attack commands and they are melee based, then that's an easy 100% plus. The issue with her FR is going to be that if you are trying to FR Echo, you are only going to be getting that 40% increase so long as it is a melee ability, and that's about it. So really, you're going to be, if it's a damaging FR Echo, then it is going to be about 60%. If you're going to be using an FR Echo that is melee based and it does not deal damage, it's going to be higher than that. But you're not going to be meeting that second condition. So when it comes to charging up the force time, or her force time, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Not really difficult per se, but like it's going to be slower than what your usual FR Echo increases that you normally are used to by now. So Queen's FR, it's a little bit picky when it comes to using FR Echo. But the other thing about it is going to be that while her FR is active and you are using a Brave attack or HP attack ability, or a change one at that, then the party will be gaining a 50% HP damage up and HP damage cap up increase, which is nice. So right there alone, that tells you that basically with Queen, it's either you are going to build around Queen, or you are going to be using other characters that do have a change Brave and or HP command. That's pretty much like how you are going to be playing around with Queen. Now, when you take a look at her BT effect, it's pretty much like the same thing, because her BT effect is going to be revolving around the fact that you are wanting to set up team comps around characters that are using a change Brave or HP command. So in general, overall, the party will be gaining a 20% Brave gains up HP damage up, 50% brave damage cap up, and 30% HP damage cap up. To Queen herself, she is going to be gaining a EX recast gauge rate up by 80%, meaning that you are pretty much going to have her EX active every other turn, which in turn will lead her to using her brave and or HP, her change brave or HP commands. Now, those did get reworked, so they are going to be dealing much more damage than what she is currently doing right now. Now, whenever anybody uses an EX ability, they do gain an additional 10% brave gains up, 30% HP damage up, 30% brave damage cap up, and a 50% HP damage cap up. That is if you're using your EX ability like pretty much like all the time. So right there alone, if you jump into Bahamut Summon and you are constantly using your EX ability, then you are going to gain those additional percentages when you are using that specific skill. But if you are going to be using a brave attack, HP attack, or anything upgraded from that or changed, then you are also going to be getting that 10% increase in the brave gains up, 30% HP damage up, 30% brave damage cap up, and 50% HP damage cap up. So you, in a way, can take advantage of Queen's BT effect, which does last for 8 turns. You can either use it by constantly just focusing around using your EX ability, especially if you go into Bahamut Summon, then you are always going to be using your EX ability. And if it's a very strong one, then yeah, the damage output is going to be very good. Or if you're going to be using a team specifically focus on using their change brave or HP command, then you will also gain some type of additional benefit from her BT effect. So as you can see, like Queen, you are gonna be either using building a team around her, or you are basically just gonna have her there to just take advantage of a BT effect if you are gonna be using other characters with a change brave or HP command, or if you know you're gonna be if you're gonna be spamming their EX ability, then that's another thing that you can take advantage of Queen right there. So Queen overall, she's definitely not a must pull. She is very fun to use. I will say that for sure. She is definitely a very fun character to use, especially with like the type of character that she is overall, and with the rework that she is going to be getting. So she's going to be dealing much more HP attacks within her abilities. She is definitely a very fun character to use. There will be characters in the future that will have a changed HP command, brave command, whatever it is, right? Like, and they can actually take advantage of the additional percentages of the additional party auras from her BT effect. Like, take example, like if let's say Global gets force level 50, Celtius will be one of the newest characters who will have a change HP command, which does deal a very good amount of AoE damage, and so he can actually take advantage of her BT effect that way. So overall, for me myself, Queen is a very fun character to use. I did use her here and there, but I really don't see myself using her that much like I have on the JP side on Global. So for me myself, I am actually going to hold off on pulling for Queen. If there's a free multi, which I don't think there is going to be, and if I manage to pull for her, if I manage to get her FO and BT, sure, I will probably build her. But for me myself, I am probably going to hold off on pulling for a kid and just have her on the team to do my ticket mission, and that's about it. But I don't really see myself using her. Yes, there are going to be characters later down the line that will have a change brave or HP command that I could potentially see myself taking advantage of a BT effect, but I would probably use Ursula instead of Queen, just because I would rather have my characters always be at max brave, or always capped out on their max brave, instead of having Queen who will basically just provide me with some party aura. So I'm gonna hold off on Queen for right now and see like in the future if they're gonna do anything else to her. But definitely a fun character, definitely not a must pull, but a very good character overall, but not a character that I see myself using again on the global side. Next up, we have Kelger. Now, Kelger is still very much a strong, viable character to this day. Like, he is extremely good. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that I will be pulling for him once again on the global side. He is basically an evasion counter tank. That's pretty much what he does. And he has preemptive attacks built in within his kit. So basically, like, how he works is that his, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe it is his EX buff that basically makes it so that everybody is going to be always attacking Kelger, and that's pretty much about it. Not only that, but that EX buff also provides him with that 100% evasion up. So he is always going to be evading attacks all the time. His overhead is what grants him with his counterattack. So whenever he does evade, he will be counterattacking, and I do believe that counterattack is going to be AoE based damage. His F4, the conditions basically make it so that he receives a 50% turn rate down, meaning that the enemies are going to be gaining more turns, which is fantastic because you want the enemies to gain more turns. So long as he is evading attacks, and you'll be good to go. The party is also going to be getting, just in general, while his FR is active, there's no conditions behind this, the party will be receiving a 20% HP damage up and HP damage cap up. Now, when it comes to his conditions, a 5% increase whenever the party, except for Kelger, uses a melee ability, and this includes off-turn triggers. A 10% increase whenever Kelger uses a melee ability, and this includes off-turn triggers. And a 50% increase whenever Self avoids an attack once per turn. So yeah, it's a very good FR when it comes to mostly off-turn increases. Now, when we take a look at his BT effect lasts for 6 turns, which is a bit short, but because if you have his FR active, then that BT effect is pretty much going to be it's going to be active longer because of that 50% turn rate. And also, one thing to add to that as well is that if you are working on the red crystal characters, and if you manage to get those 2 passives, that will add more turn rate down to Kelger, and also a speed reduction on him that the man is not going to be getting any turns whatsoever, and he's just going to be preemptive attacking. He is going to be counter attacking whenever he evades. Like, you can do so much with him, it is pretty nuts. But basically, his BT effect, the biggest thing about it is that it is going to trigger his preemptive attack twice, which is great. So that's going to be more damage. That's going to be more increases to the FR if you are going to be using his FR as the main force time. So overall, in general, what do I think about him? He is a fantastic character, definitely a must pull. I would highly recommend him to anybody. He is very easy to play with. You can pair him up in team comps very easily. Like, he is a great character overall, and I would personally highly recommend players pull for him just because of how good of a character he is. If you are going to be working on the red crystal characters in the future, for those who haven't already worked on it, then you get yourself a fantastic red crystal user. Plus, more than likely, you're going to have those passives unlocked. But for those who have not, like including myself, who have not messed with the red crystal characters, best believe he is going to be very good for soloing a lot of these level 3 Shinryus if anybody is having any difficulty with them. Also, another thing, speaking of solos, is that he is able to solo a lot of these upcoming Shinryu fights. He is able to solo them, or if you are wanting to carry a character, and depending on like the fight, a lot of these fights, he is also able to carry a lot of these characters if you are not going to be pulling. Like, let's say, for example, Queen, right? Let's say if you decide to pass up on Queen, but you're having difficulty with the fight, and if you do decide to pull for Kelger, then best believe, like, he's going to be a big help for that and for future Shinryu fights. So yeah, very much a very strong character. I would highly recommend players pulling for him because he is really, really good at what he does. And like, best believe, he is not going to disappoint you whatsoever. Next up, we have Golbez, who is going to be getting his FR and a rework. Now, for Golbez, I will briefly go over the amount of increase to his HP attacks he is going to be getting real quick. So his skill 1 is going to be dealing 9 HP attacks. His skill 2 is going to be dealing, let's see, 2, 4, 5 AoE HP attacks. His EX ability is going to be dealing 9 AoE HP attacks, and then his LD is also going to be dealing the same thing. His BT effect did get extended by 6 turns. He does gain a self 70% HP damage cap up increase. Yeah, that's a fat increase to his HP damage cap up. And then the party is going to be getting a 30% HP damage cap up increase. When it comes to his FR, so his FR does provide the party with Dark Enchant, which is fantastic. Also, whenever you are dealing Elemental Weakness Brave damage, the party gains a 50% HP damage up, 50% HP damage cap up, and a 50% Brave damage cap up, which is fantastic. So that is like it. Very rarely do you actually see an FR actually provide 3 additional increases to specific auras for meeting said conditions. So that is awesome. When it comes to his conditions, a 40% increase whenever the party deals weakness brave damage. Golbez is able to inflict Dark resist down, yeah. Dark resist down if I'm not mistaken, and with his FR being able to provide Dark Enchant, that's not going to be an issue whatsoever. And then a 35% increase whenever you are using a Dark ability. So, yeah, Golbez overall in general, like, he definitely gains a good amount of, a good amount of increase in his damage output overall. Like, his damage output is very, very good. With that 70% HP damage cap up increase alongside with the 30%, that is 100% right there and then for Golbez. And then of course you gotta add in the ultimate weapon. You also have to add in his 7-star armor, whatever that provides to Golbez. And then of course you also have to include whatever additional party auras that he gains. Like, Golbez is gonna be dealing some very hefty damage overall, especially if you have his FR active. Yeah, the man is going to be dishing out some very good damage output. Now, Golbez is definitely not a must pull, but he is definitely a very fun character to use, and his damage output is definitely not something that you would want to overlook, because overall in general with his kit, he does some very good damage overall. So is Golbez a must pull? He's definitely not a must pull, but for me myself, I'm actually going to pick up his FR again, just because, like, I do love the fact that not only does he cover damage, not only does he provide cap up increases to the party via his FR, via his BT effect, and the fact that he is going to be getting a self 70% HP damage cap up increase. That is very, very good, and I do believe that is the highest that a character receives just to himself, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, do correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe he has the highest self HP damage cap up increase. But I will be pulling for his FR again, just because I enjoy using him. He is a very good character in my opinion. Not a must pull, but definitely a great character to have. Also, his BT effect does make it so that the enemies cannot gain any brave whatsoever. So that is a nice add-on that he provides to the party overall. So yeah, I will be pulling for his FR once again, just because I do enjoy using him as a character. Is he still viable to this day in JP? Yeah, I do think that he still very much is. I don't think he's fallen off whatsoever. Yeah, we do have characters later down the line that will be dealing much more HP attacks overall in general, but really, you are mostly going to be using his EX and LD, just because that is the highest amount of HP attacks that he has within all of his skills. So yeah, I will be pulling for his FR once again. Next up, we have Lenna, who is going to be getting her FR Now, Lenna is one of my favorite support characters. I like using Lenna a very good amount. So, if you take a look at Lenna, her FR, Neon is going to be her partner. She's going to be healing the party, and any heals may exceed the target's max HP by 40%. When it comes to the conditions, a 45% increase whenever a party member's HP is greater than or equal to 100% of their max HP, and a 30% increase whenever a party member's turn passes with 0 debuffs. So Lenna is able to provide a buff to the party, which makes it so that nobody cannot get inflicted with any debuffs whatsoever. So that's not going to be an issue there. And with Lenna constantly healing, that's not going to be an issue for the first condition as well. Now, the BT effect. This BT effect provides two things. It provides a good amount of party ores, and it also provides it with a follow-up attack. So the BT effect lasts for 8 turns. Now, this BT effect provides it with a follow-up attack, which deals 4 AoE HP attacks. Now, this is based by 100% of own max Brave cap to the group 4 times. It does also heal the party as well. The other thing about her BT effect is that it provides the party with a 40% max HP overflow, which is a very good amount of HP. Basically, like your HP stats is going to be increasing by a very good amount. The party also gains a 50% Brave gains up, 20% HP damage up, 20% Brave damage cap up, and a 30% HP damage cap up. What I like about Lenna, again, is the fact that she provides a good, like outside of her BT, she provides a good amount of party ores to everybody. She constantly heals, she constantly brave batteries with a lot of her skill, or most of her skills really. And overall, she is a very good character. She prevents you from getting inflicted with debuffs, provides HP regen, brave regen. She does a good amount for being a support character. And now with her BT effect, she is going to be gaining and a follow-up attack. She's going to be adding much more party ores to everybody. And overall, her kit is very, very good. It's very good. I was going to repeat myself again. No, overall, I like Lenna for her being a straight support character. She is very good at what she does. In my opinion, is she a must pull? She's not a must pull, but she is great to have. If you are working on the white crystal characters, or if you're going to be working on it later down the line, she is definitely a fantastic character to have in terms of support. Myself, I will be pulling for her FR and BT. Again, I enjoy Lenna's kit. I enjoy her as a character. I love the fact that she provides that 40% HP overflow increase, which is awesome. I really like that a lot. I know that Rosa provides that as well, but Lenna actually tops that a little bit more than what Rosa provides, or even having them both together would be pretty awesome as well. Again, if you are working on the white crystal characters, if you unlock all of these stat node increases for your white crystal characters, then you are going to notice that your HP stat and everything else is going to be increased, but that HP stat is going to be much higher, which in turn, alongside with Lenna's BT effect active, that stat is going to be overflowed a very good amount. So yes, Lenna, definitely not a must pull, but definitely great to have. I will be pulling for her FR and BT once again. And finally, we're gonna be talking about the mysterious events or whatever it is, which I do believe that the IW is going to be Enna Kros. And then when it comes to the raid boss challenge, or the raid challenge, raid boss challenge, whatever, it is going to be Strago and Locke. So real quick, because I don't want to dive into this too hard, because you know, just in case if it is something completely different, even though I do feel pretty confident that it is going to be them, I will briefly talk about what these characters do. So basically, Enna Kros with her BT effect, what it does, it lasts for 6 turns. Basically, the party, whenever you are dealing HP damage, it rounds up to the last 5 digits. Basically, you are going to be squeezing out excuse me, you're going to be squeezing out not much more damage, but you're going to be squeezing out a little bit more HP damage while her BT effect is active. The party also gains Holy Enchant and Dark Enchant, which is going to help out with her FR conditions. And then, of course, you got the Brave damage up, Brave damage cap up, HP damage up, and HP damage cap up, which is nice. So the BT effect is really nice and will help out overall in general with increases for everybody's damage output. Really, the way that I personally use Enna Kros in JP is that I treat her more so as a third slot character instead of like a main DPS unit. Yes, the damage output that she does specifically with her LD is pretty nuts, because of course with her LD it does deal 8 HP attacks. So EX does 4, but really you're going to be using her LD because it does deal 8, and because she is summoning her big robot, the damage output is going to be way higher than usual compared to like other characters. But for me myself, I use her more so as a third slot unit, and I take advantage of her BT effect, of the fact that she is basically helping me in squeezing out a little bit more damage. So for me myself, I'm a little bit undecided on whether or not I want to pull for her, because like, yeah, the BT effect is nice and all, but I don't really see myself using Enna Kros, nor have I have not used her in a hot minute on the JP side. The only times that I actually did use her is whenever I was working on the white crystal characters. But other than that, I didn't really use her that often, as much as you may or may not expect me to use her. So because of that, I'm really undecided on whether or not I want to pull for the BT. I'm leaning more towards me not pulling for her BT and probably holding off until like another rerun banner. And if I get lucky to get her BT, cool. If not, it's not really a big deal, because like I do have other characters currently on my global account that is able to basically help me in gaining more total HP damage. Like take example like Weiss with that what do you call it, the additional HP damage that he provides, so long as I am hitting for the HP damage cap of a set character, then I'm squeezing out more damage out of Weiss. So yeah, I'm still very much undecided on what I want to do with her, but her BT effect is definitely nice and all, but like I don't really think it's like necessary to have. Now for Noel, the biggest thing about him, aside from the rework and all the crazy amount of HP, additional HP attack that he is going to be getting within his skills, is going to be that broken FR. Now when I say broken, I mean the fact that basically the FR effect is that everybody in the party is going to be canceling the target's break before they attack. And whenever that happens, whenever you are inflicting or attacking an enemy afflicted with break, if they're broken, if they get broken, the party gains a 50% HP damage up and HP damage cap up. When it comes to the conditions, use a melee ability, 40% increase, and a 40% increase whenever a party member inflicts a break, which is not going to be an issue, because guess what? the FR effect provides or allows you to constantly break the enemy. And guess what? Dorgon loves Noel's FR just because of this FR effect. So for me myself, I think I have him greened on global, and just for the hell of it, I think I'm probably gonna throw some tickets at the banner and hope that I can get his FR. So yeah, mostly you're going to be using Noel for his FR. It's pretty much about it. The damage output that he gets from his rework is going to be very good. But again, you're going to be using Noel for his FR, and that's about it. Now, the other two characters, Strago, he's going to be getting his BT. Basically, his BT, all that it is going to provide is that it is going to allow him to trigger his abilities an additional 3 times. It's pretty much what he's going to be doing. So his Solo Tamasa buff allows him to use his abilities twice in the same turn. His BT effect allows him to do that 3 times. So just imagine with the rework that he's going to be getting, like let's take for example his FR. His FR now deals 4 HP attacks. So that is going to be 12 HP attacks right there. That's pretty much all that Strago is going to be getting, and that's about it. Me myself, I'm gonna hold off on Strago. I don't really see much I don't see myself using Strago like that. I've never really used Strago like that in the past. So I am probably going to hold off on Strago. Yeah, the damage output is nice and all. You can easily add other characters to increase his damage output, but I don't really see myself using him. Locke, he's going to be getting his FR. His FR, Zidane is his partner. It basically makes it so that after you use his FR, he does have access to his change HP command, which is his most powerful attack within his kit. Now, whenever you are inflicting or attacking an enemy afflicted with breaks, or if they're broken or if they get broken, 50% HP damage up, 50% HP damage cap up. His conditions. So, a 20% increase whenever a teammate selects a melee ability, and a 60% increase whenever a party member's turn passes with an active special buff, which is pretty much an overhead. Just have an overhead active and you'll be good to go. Locke, overall in general, he was like really, like the biggest thing about him in the past was that he had a, his BT effect provided a defense ignore. And also allowed for his teammates to heal themselves up to 50%, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 50% if they fall below that, which is nice. And of course, other things that he provides as well. But really, like the biggest thing was always that he provided defense ignore to everybody, and that's about it. For me myself, I am probably gonna pull for his FR again. But that's about it. Like Locke, I use from time to time. His like the whole like defense ignore thing is not really something that you really see. You really see a lot of characters or a lot of like these fights or like fights in the future. Defense ignore is not really like as important as it used to be, but it is nice to have because of course defense ignore allows you to be able to deal more brave damage onto the enemies, and that's about it. So yeah, for Locke, I am more than likely just gonna be excuse me, ticketing his FR, and that's about it. But other than that though, guys, that's pretty much gonna be it for the video. Again, let me know your pull plans down in the comment section below for all of the banners that was announced and the characters that I do feel like is gonna be attached to this IW and this raid boss event. Let me know down in the comment section below. Again, let me know if you like this new format. I kind of feel like it's about the same thing now that I think about it. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. I'll let you guys judge me on all of this. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.